Hi class. How are you all doing? I hope everyone is doing well. This is a short video which is going to show you how to start our web page design project. Okay. The other video describes pretty clearly what you need to do to complete the project, but this is something we haven't done too much, is starting things from scratch in HTML. So let's do that now. One thing I've emphasized throughout the course is that we need to have a folder which contains all of our work. So I have a folder here. It's down at the end of my directory structure where I'm going to put my web page design project. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right mouse click here and create that folder that I will be using. And I'll call it Web Design Project. Doesn't matter what you call it, but I want to know what it is. And I'm going to open it up. And of course it's empty right now. So what we've got to do is start creating things to put into that folder. Remember, everything needs to be put into that folder, whether it's HTML or a sound or a video or an image or the CSS file. We need to have all of those things. So I'm going to open up Notepad. One of the things we got to do is create HTML documents. I'm going to open up Notepad++. If you're on a Mac, some people are using brackets, whatever editor you're using. And here is where I'm going to type in my HTML for one of my pages. Now, important thing right now is to save that. Okay. Now, a couple things we have to remember. One is I want to save it in that folder. So it's going to take me a little while to find that folder because it's down a bunch of directories, but hopefully you paid attention to where you saved your document. And mine's in my courses folder on my computer. And then I have a folder for CIS 121. And then I have an HTML practice folder. And I have a CIS 121 HTML. And finally, I've gotten down to the point where I see that folder that I just created. So I'm going to open that up. So there's the first step. Save your HTML in the right place. Second step is to give it a good name. Let's say I'm going to do a science folder or a science project. So this will be my main page for that, the one that has the links to the two subtopics. So I'll call it Science Main, and very important at this point, .htm. I want to make sure it's the right type of file, so when I see it, it's going to link up to the right applications, and also in Notepad++, it's going to do the formatting for HTML, the color and formatting. So I'll save that, and here's where I'd start typing in my HTML, and I'm not going to do it, but whatever you want to put on that page. Okay. Other things that we need to put there are like images and sounds and so on, and I can do a search for those. So I'll go over to Google and maybe do a search for beakers. For my science project. I can go over to images here and maybe find a nice image for a beaker like this red beaker with some red solution in it. Okay. Click on it and it shows me that beaker. And I'm going to right mouse click and save image as. We want to save the image. Okay. And some important things to remember here. Again, I need to find that folder that I was working in. Okay. So I'm going to go over, I got to do that search again for it through courses, through 121, through HTML practice. Hopefully you don't have a sequence of folders to search through, CIS 121. I found it again, Web Design Project. Okay. Now I want to save it. Okay. Horrible name. I'm going to change the name to just Red Beaker. Now names are important. JPG is a good type of file to save. GIF is a good type of file to save. If it's .webp, that's not going to show up. That's like a certain image type which you can't save to your computer. So make sure when you're choosing an image that it is one of those common types of images like JPG or GIF or PNG. Those are all good ones. Okay. Give it a good name. Why do I give it a good name? Well, later on, I'm going to want to know what that file is, number one. And also, when I actually want to include that image in a web page, I need to use the name. We've seen we need to be very careful about the way we name things. So I'm saving it in the right place. It has a good name. I'll click Save. And now if I look back over on that folder again, I now see my main science page. I see my red beaker page. And I would just continue that process as I got new images, new web pages, and so on to create them or save them off the web and just make sure I give them good names. Everything has to be in the same folder. Also, a problem a lot of people had when they were handing in their work is they just gave me an HTML file. Well, guess what? I don't see other HTML files. I don't see your images. I don't see your videos unless you give me all of that information. And there's two ways you can do that. You can zip the folder that contains all of your web items, or you could even, if you had to, submit them individually. So one submission, you'd attach a whole bunch of files. I would prefer the zipped folder, and that's easier for you also, but just make sure I get all of your work. Okay. Hopefully that was helpful for starting out with the web design project. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. I love to get questions. Thank you and have a great day.